The Weekly
Hello! I'm Clay from a Frog Stream Aquatic Services in Long Valley, New Jersey, and I'm here to bring you this week's Weekly Ribbit. So, it's winter. Winter is here. It comes and it goes, and it's been getting down to like 10 degrees at night, and then 35, 40 during the day, and then the next day it's like 50. So we are in a crazy, crazy weather pattern. And you should certainly be closing your ponds and your waterfalls and fountains, or at least thinking about doing it in the next week or two. Because with this crazy weather, you really want to make sure you're prepared and your pond is prepared for the winter. And that brings me to this weekly ribbit. Aerators versus pond deicers. And what's the difference? They look like this. This is the aerator, and this down here is the pond deicer. Which one should you use? Everyone says you got to put a pond deicer in. You got to put a pond deicer in. I'm going to tell you what we do and why it works. We use aerators as our main source of de-icing for the winter months for three main reasons. The first reason, they're constantly adding oxygen to the water. Your fish need oxygen, your ecosystem constantly needs oxygen, and it's a great way to add oxygen on a consistent basis, especially throughout the winter, because your fish still need the oxygen. Two, they're very efficient. An actual pond deicer or pond heater will use 100 to 300 watts of power. Sometimes people even put ones in that use 1200 watts of power. A good aerator is going to use 45 watts of power. So they're extremely energy efficient. And the third reason is because they work. They work well at de-icing. They work well during the winter months, and you can't ask for a better de-icing tool for your pond. The aerators are by far the best choice. They work in New Jersey perfectly. There is one thing though. Sometimes you do need a de-icer. It gets really cold here sometimes in New Jersey, and you can get down into the teens or even the single digits or negative numbers over the course of a few nights in a row or a few days. These are the times you're going to need the help from a small de-icer, which this is the one we use. It's a 300 watt de-icer. And if you know that these days are coming, that's when you plug that de-icer in. Use the de-icer to help the aerator along a little bit. Also, if we get a lot of snow, either way, if we get a lot of snow, say 6 to 12 or 12 plus inches of snow, you need to make sure you go out there and remove that snow from the place where you have your aerator and or de-icer set. So, I still necessarily haven't answered the questions, which should you use? You should use both. Get yourself an aerator for your main de-icing, and then get the de-icer as a backup. This way you have two options. You have your aerator constantly running, constantly de-icing, keeping that hole in the ice for you. And then if you need a little help because it gets really cold, plug in that actual de-icer to help the aerator along. Also, now you have two options. If the aerator decides to work, you can plug your de-icer in to keep that hole in the ice. So that's what we do. That's what I would suggest you doing. Just as insurance, use both of them. Get one of each. Get the aerator in there, de-icing, causing the bubbles, and the de-icer as well. Another great thing about the de-icer is in the spring, when we get those really warm days and it's not quite ready to open your pond yet, you're adding oxygen to the pond and helping the fish out, helping them awaken from their winter slumber. So that's this week's Weekly Ribbit. And don't forget, if this is your pond, make sure you click the link below that says I saw my pond to get your free stuff. And if you have any questions, please submit them by clicking the link below that says Weekly Ribbit question submission. Submit a question, submit a picture, so you too can be featured on the Weekly Ribbit. Have a great week, everyone, and thanks a lot for listening.